From a literal bunch of scaredy cats in Osaka, Japan, who felt an earthquake coming before it actually struck, and a 6.1 magnitude quake that nearly destroyed an entire airport in the Philippines, to a powerful tremor in China that sent students ducking for cover, and an event in 2015 that destroyed over 600,000 buildings in Nepal. Here are 10 earthquakes that were caught on CCTV cameras. Izmir is a metropolitan city in western Turkey on the east bank of the Aegean Sea. After Istanbul and Ankara, Izmir is the third most populous city in Turkey and operates as its central hub for exports. The area is a seismically active region, and that activity was on full display around Halloween of 2020. On October 30th of 2020, an earthquake registering between 6.6 and 7.0 struck about 9 miles off the coast of Samos, a Greek island south of Izmir. Employees at an advertising firm in the city braced themselves in the office, hoping the building wouldn't collapse beneath them. We see where the girl in green's priorities lie as she risks everything to grab her phone. Elsewhere in the office, we see hanging lights swinging in the lobby as the girl in green tries to find something to hold on to. Another man hustles to hide under a desk moments before a light fixture falls from the ceiling. Rolling desks and chairs slide across the floor as other office employees try to hold on to something stable. One woman almost gets knocked out by a falling printer. The main quake was followed by 1,400 aftershocks, with 43 registering as 4.0 magnitude mini-quakes. The initial quake also triggered a tsunami, which damaged several coastal towns around the province. Ya'an is a prefecture-level city in western Sichuan province, China. Located just below the Tibetan Plateau, they're mostly worried about monsoons, floods, and landslides. But that doesn't mean they're impervious to other natural disasters. On June 1st of 2022, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck Ya'an City. Multiple CCTV cameras from around the area captured everyone's immediate reaction. Some of the most telling footage comes from Lushan Middle School, where students had clearly practiced their earthquake drills. The earthquake strikes, forcing a frightened mom to grab her child and race toward the door. She hesitates, though, as debris may be falling in front of the door. Elsewhere, a sleeping dog takes off after the quake interrupts nap time. At Lushan Middle, students hear the distant sirens and immediately hide under their desks. Once it's safe, their teacher has everyone flee the classroom. An early warning went out to 10 million people around the epicenter about 9 seconds before the earthquake struck. Perhaps that's what the students in the second classroom heard over the intercom as they all dropped under their desks in near-perfect unison. Sulawesi is one of the 5 main islands that make up Indonesia. The country itself is the largest archipelago in the world, with over 18,000 islands and inlets under Indonesian control. Most of those islands exist in a complex tectonic setting between the Australian, Pacific, Philippine, and Sunda plates, making them highly susceptible to earthquakes and tsunamis. On September 28th of 2018, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck the Minahasa Peninsula, a thin strip of land around the Gulf of Tomini. Aside from 150 aftershocks, the quake also sent several 5-foot tsunami waves crashing into the coast. Then, a massive 18-foot wave washed over the entire island. It looks like a small crowd is preparing for a show. Then, the earthquake strikes. The CCTV camera shakes as the crowd scatters in every direction. Loose objects fall from the ceiling, and people literally throw themselves over the tables in utter panic. Water floods the perimeter, and we can see the floor tiles cracking and popping out of place. Meanwhile, security cameras by the port almost break off their mounts when the earthquake strikes. They remain intact long enough to record a loading crane toppling over and crashing into the pavement. Near the coast, dashcam footage shows the earthquake striking in Kota Palu. Trees bend back and forth as people rush for cover. Water crashes over the seawall, causing one man to debate whether it's safe or not to get in his car and drive away. According to Vox, the earthquake reduced thousands of buildings to rubble and left a complete humanitarian disaster behind. Clark International is an airport in the northern Philippines, servicing domestic and international flights. Clark's history dates back to 1919, when the U.S. Army converted the area into an airfield, and that airfield served as an important overseas base during World War II. The Philippine government took control in the early 90s, and Clark International Airport opened in 1996. 23 years later, on April 22nd of 2019, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake rocked Clark International and those inside. Travelers grabbed their loved ones and scattered for cover, but some wound up trapped when debris began falling from the ceiling. A terminal full of eager travelers descends into chaos as the earthquake shakes everything inside, including our CCTV cameras. One man gets stuck on a banister after getting through security. He almost drags the entire line with him. We see another security team panic as they run for cover. Debris and light fixtures fall from the ceiling, narrowly missing 2 women. At the check-in area, people cover their heads and hope for the best. And at the end of the line, we see a few men barely escape outside before the roof caves in above them. Aftermath shots of check-in and the departure area make one thing pretty clear. A powerful earthquake just tore through Clark International Airport. Kathmandu is the capital of Nepal and serves as the country's most important business district. But on April 25th of 2015, a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake brought business to a grinding halt. It was the worst natural disaster to strike the country in nearly 100 years. To make things worse, the quake triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest that claimed 22 lives, the deadliest day in Everest history. Entire villages crumbled, leaving hundreds of thousands of people homeless throughout the country. In the city of Tripureshwar, CCTV cameras captured the moment when the earthquake struck. Scooters, cars, and foot traffic navigate the busy intersection. It's hard to imagine driving like that, but local Nepalis are pretty used to it. Then, the ground starts shaking and people start running. Cars stop in their tracks as clusters of people gather in the street, not wanting to stand near any tall buildings. Nobody moves once the quake subsides. They are well aware an aftershock could strike at any moment. Now, this clip doesn't do justice to the total destruction experienced that day. Elsewhere in Nepal, 600,000 structures were either damaged or completely leveled. 9,000 people lost their lives, but the toll could have been much higher if the earthquake didn't strike when it did.